And now, the adventures of Superman. Shortly after Clark Kent as Superman rescued cub reporter Jim Olsen and young Mary Hennig from death at the hands of the gigantic counterfeiting ring headed by Mr. Purley and Mr. Paradise, a startling thing occurred in the office of the Daily Planet. Returning from lunch one day, Jim was handed a sealed letter by Beanie Martin, head copyboy, who said that Clark Kent had left it with instructions to give it to either Jim, Editor White, or Lois Lane at exactly 1 o'clock. The young reporter opened the envelope, read the short letter, and turned pale as a ghost. At that moment, Perry White and Lois entered the city room. And rushing to them, Jimmy gasped,
"Listen, Mr. White and Miss Lane. Mr. Kent went away and...
Well?
Where did he go? I don't know. But he left this note, in which he says we'll never see him again."
As we continue now, Perry White, followed by Lois, has pushed Jimmy into his office. Closing his door, the gray-haired editor demands...
Now, Olsen, you stop gibbering. Tell us what you're talking about.
Yes, what's this nonsense about our never seeing Clark again?
That's what he says in this letter. Here, see for yourselves.
Let me see, Jim.
Oh, golly. This is terrible.
Will you pull yourself together, Olsen?
Gee whiz, how can I when Mr. Kent went away?
Good heavens. Listen to this, Chief.
Yes?
Dear Chief, Lois and Jim, I'm leaving this letter for you because saying goodbye in person would be unnecessarily painful.
Saying goodbye?
Yes, I'm going away on a mission I cannot tell you anything about. But there is a very strong possibility that I may never return. And so
What? You
I
see?
can only say goodbye, my dear friends, and God bless you. Yours with great affection, Clark Kent.
Good Godfrey. Why, this is incredible.
Why, it's impossible.
You see? I told you we'd never see him again. Oh, golly,
No, Kent wouldn't leave us. He couldn't. He wouldn't dare to.
But the letter, he said that...
I don't care what he said. Anyhow, he didn't say he was never coming back. He just said there was a possibility that he wasn't.
Well, that's right.
He said there was a very strong possibility.
Oh.
And the way he ended the letter, goodbye and God bless you, it sounds like he's sure he's not coming back.
Oh, nonsense. He must have gotten a tip on the story and thought it was a bit dangerous. So he did this silly thing to just get a rise out of us, that's all.
Of course. Clark loves being mysterious, and we were sats enough to be taken in by this gag.
What do you mean he's being mysterious, Miss Lane?
Well, you know how Clark is, Jim. He knows he's not very brave and that we consider him a bit of a sissy.
Well, I don't.
Well, he is, and if you weren't such a hero worshiper, you'd admit it, too.
Now, listen,
That's why he never loses a chance to build himself up by acting mysterious.
Oh, now, look,
implying he's going off on a big, dangerous mission from which he may never return. Rubbish.
Yes, that's what I say. Kent's always making mountains out of molehills. Oh, you wait until he gets back. This time I'll teach him to write a blameful letter like this.
Yeah, if he ever does get back.
No, he will. Don't you worry.
Of course he will.
He'll be back before the day is over. Now, you just wait and see.
Mr. White?
What is it, Olsen? Come in. Close the door.
Yes, sir. I was wondering, it's after 7 o'clock. Have you...
No, I haven't.
You haven't what?
I haven't heard from Kent. That's what you were going to ask me, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. You say you haven't heard from him?
Didn't I just tell you I haven't? And if you don't stop coming in here every 15 minutes to ask me the same question, I'll fire you. Now go away. Go away. I've got work to do.
But you said you were sure Mr. Kent would be back before the day was over.
Well, it's not over yet, is it?
Well, it's 5 minutes after 7.
Well, Kent will be back before morning then.
No, it's morning. Before it was...
He'll be back, I tell you. I'm not worried, and I don't intend to let you worry me. Now get out of here. Beat it. Good night. I'll see you in the morning. And Kent, too. He doesn't answer, eh? Okay, Miss Backrack. Try again in half an hour.
No luck, Chief?
Still no answer at Kent's apartment, Lois.
Gee, that's odd.
Gee whiz, I'm really getting worried now. I think we ought to call Inspector Henderson, Chief.
Oh, stop it. Stop it, Olsen. I tell you, Kent's all right. That letter from him was just a gag. He's on some story, and he'll be back before tonight. Now, you see if he isn't.
Well, that's what you said yesterday.
That's right, Chief.
Well, he'll be back by tonight, I tell you. Now, get back to work, both of you.
Clark still doesn't answer his phone, Chief.
No, Lois. No use ringing any more this evening.
This is beginning to look awfully bad.
Oh, nonsense. I'll try him again before I go to bed tonight. He certainly ought to be back by then.
I hope so. I'm starting to get a bit worried.
Now, don't you go acting like Jim. Kent's a big boy. He can take care of himself. I'm willing to wager he'll be back before morning.
Morning, Mr. White. Morning, Miss Lane.
Morning.
Good morning, Jim.
Look, is there any word yet from...
No, not yet.
Holy mackerel. How long is this going to go on?
It's gone on long enough. Now, look, Lois. You and Jim go over to Kent's apartment. Get the building superintendent to let you in.
Okay, Chief. Come on, Jim.
Oh, what for? I just tried to phone Mr. Kent again, but he doesn't answer.
Never mind. Now, you do as I say. Have a look around there and report to me. Now, go on. Get going.
You think we may be able to pick up a lead to where he went at his apartment?
Well, that's what we're hoping. Come on, Jim. Let's go. No use, Jim. We've looked at everything in Clark's apartment. There isn't a single thing here to tell us where he went.
I know. Look, John, you say Mr. Kent told you he was going away, too?
That's right, Mr. Olson. He said he had to go away, and he might not come back.
The same thing you wrote us, Miss Lane.
Uh-huh. What else did he say, John?
He said if he wasn't back by the end of the month, I should give his clothes and furniture to charity.
Charity?
Give you his books, Mr. Olson, and rent his apartment to a veteran with a family.
Oh, golly. I don't like this, Miss Lane.
I don't either, Jim.
Where do you suppose he could have gone?
I don't know.
Why couldn't he have told us so we know where to look for him?
I don't know that either. Come on back to the office. Now the chief will just have to get in touch with the police.
No, I can't understand this. Kent's been gone a whole week. We can't find him. The police can't find him. Candy Myers can't find him. Nobody can find him. Oh, where in blazes is he?
If we only knew.
If we only had an idea what this mission is that he mentioned, we could do something.
Oh, stop saying if. Kent never did anything like this before.
I know. That's why I'm so worried.
It seems so unreasonably stupid for him to do a thing like this.
But Kent's got a good head on his shoulders. That's why I can't understand his disappearing like this.
The phone.
Maybe that's Inspector Henderson.
With news, I hope.
Very White speaking.
Mr. White, this is Dr. Millison.
Who?
Dr. John Millison of Metropolis University.
Is it Inspector Henderson?
No, quiet, Olson. Oh, yes, Dr. Millison.
Dr.
What can I do
Millison?
for you?
Why, he's the famous
Are you
scientist,
going to be
Jim.
in your
I thought it was about Mr. Kent.
Oh, yes. I'll be here for another hour or so, but...
I wonder if I might come over to see you on a matter of very grave importance.
Why, I suppose so, if it's really important.
Well,
I don't mean to sound uncordial, but I'm rather upset just now. You see, one of my reporters, Clark Kent...
Has disappeared.
Yes. Yes. How did you know?
I happen to know a good deal about Mr. Kent's disappearance. If you'll wait a few minutes, I'll be right over and tell you about it.
You bet I'll wait. Hurry, Dr. Millison. For heaven's sake, hurry.
It was just a week ago today that I telephoned Clark Kent and told him it was imperative that I see Superman at once.
You phoned Kent, you say? About Superman?
Yes, Mr. White. Superman and I once worked together on a certain matter, and he told me at that time that in an emergency I might be able to reach him by contacting Kent, who, he said, was often in touch with him.
Oh, I see.
Kent said he'd try to contact Superman. And a short time later, Superman arrived at my laboratory.
I understand you want to see me, Dr. Millison.
Yes, very kind of you to come here, Superman.
Not at all, sir, not at all. You were a great service to me once. If there's anything I can do for you, I'll be delighted.
Thank you. But it's not I who need help. It's others.
Oh, really? Who?
The Apollonians.
Apollonians? Who are they?
Sit down and I'll explain.
All right, thank you.
About 2 years ago, the astronomer Dr. Bloomfield announced the discovery of a new planet. Soon after that, the planet disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes, or at least so it seemed, because it was no longer visible with our most powerful telescope.
I see.
But Dr. Bloomfield was convinced that the planet had not just disappeared. It was his theory that some strange phenomena in the planet's orbit, as well as a certain gas masses, which clung around it, had combined to hide it from our sight. As it turned out, he was right.
You mean the planet's been seen again?
Yes, through our new giant telescope.
Mm-hmm. I don't recall reading any more about it.
Well, Dr. Bloomfield and I decided not to publish any more about it until we were able to verify our, rather incredible conclusions. We merely named it Apollo and proceeded to...
Apollo? Wait a minute. You said just before that some people you called the Apollonians needed help. You don't mean that this new planet is inhabited?
Yes, we're quite sure it is.
Great Scott, you mean there are men, human beings up there?
We don't know if they're men, as we are, but we're certain some highly developed form of life exists on Apollo.
But how do you know? Your telescope can't be powerful enough to see actual...
Of course not. But we judge that to be so principally by the canals.
The canals?
Yes. The canals cut into the surface of the planet. They appear in a geometrical pattern and give every indication of having been made by man, or I should say by some other highly developed form of animal life, for the purpose of irrigation.
Oh, this is amazing. Look, Dr. Millison, as you know, I was born on another planet myself. It disintegrated
Yes,
and...
I know. The planet Krypton.
Yes, that's right. But I've been given to understand that all other known planets, with the possible exception of Mars and perhaps Venus, could not support human life because of the lack of an atmosphere and the extreme ranges of temperature.
Generally speaking, that's true, especially with the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and so on. Partly because of their great distance from the sun. But we've definitely ascertained that the newly discovered Apollo has an atmosphere, very much like our own here on Earth.
It has?
Yes. And, as you know, we're able to determine the approximate ranges of the temperature on other planets.
Yes, I know.
Well, Dr. Bloomfield and I believe the temperature on Apollo is like that of southwestern United States.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Wait, Doctor. I think I know why you called on me now. You want me to try to get to Apollo and see if it really is inhabited.
Not quite, Superman. I wouldn't consider asking you to risk your life on such a hazardous undertaking merely to gratify our scientific curiosity.
Well, then why have you called?
Here it is. The people, or whatever form of animal life exists on Apollo, are in great danger of extermination.
Extermination?
Exactly. Their days, perhaps even their hours, are numbered.
Well, what do you mean? Why is that so?
Because, as we have observed, the action of Apollo in its orbit is highly erratic. It swings too far.
I see what you mean.
What's more, its speed is approaching apposition, and is too great, far too great. So much so that Dr. Bloomfield and I are convinced that Apollo will fly out of its orbit at any time.
Uh-oh.
And be drawn through space to revolve closely around the sun until it and everything on it is burned to a cinder.
Great Scott.
And that, Superman, is likely to happen any day. Perhaps at any hour.
I see. So that's why you called on me, to try to save the people, if that's what they are, on Apollo.
Yes, Superman. And believe me, I'll understand completely if you refuse. Even you might perish in space. The frightful power of the sun's direct rays might very well destroy you. Or the X-rays of the innumerable sunspots throughout space, or the cosmic rays themselves. Or even if you live through them, you might become lost and be drawn to the sun and finish that way.
Trying to scare me, Doctor?
No, I'm just telling you that I'll understand if you refuse this mission. The chances of survival are against even you, Superman. And you must balance that against your service on Earth. For a long moment, Superman stood without moving. His forehead was deeply lined in thought. Suddenly, his face cleared and his jaw tightened, and with a clear voice, he said,
I'll do it, Dr. Millison.
You mean you'll try to fly to Apollo?
Yes, I feel it's my duty.
You realize fully that you may never return.
Of course I do. But I can't let the inhabitants on that doomed planet perish without at least making an attempt to save them.
You're very brave, Superman.
Nonsense. I think I can make it because I traveled through space before. Now tell me, when would you say is the best time to go?
Right now, while Apollo is closest to Earth.
Right now?
Yes, this evening, when you can see the planet and set your course.
All right. I'll meet you at the Mount Arthur Observatory at 8 o'clock tonight.
Tonight, promptly at 8 o'clock, Superman appeared on Mount Arthur, on the terrace in front of the observatory. Dr. Bloomfield and I were waiting for him, and we pointed out Apollo, which glowed like a yellowish star between the reddish star of Mars and the white star of Venus. Dr. Bloomfield, for the first time I've known him, was very nervous.
There's Apollo, Superman.
Oh, yes, I see it.
But I don't know. Perhaps you shouldn't try to fly there.
Why?
You're of such great service to humanity here on Earth. If you should perish...
Forget it, Dr. Bloomfield. My mind is made up. Oh, by the way, I'm taking someone with me.
What?
What did you say?
I said I'm taking a passenger along. Clark Kent, the Daily Planet reporter.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
Certainly not. It's impossible.
Why?
He wouldn't be able to live in space.
Well, I'll take care of that. Well, time to go now. Kent's waiting nearby. I'll pick him up and then shoot for Apollo. Bye, Dr. Millison. Bye, Dr. Bloomfield.
Goodbye, Superman. And good luck.
God bless you.
Thank you. I'll see you soon, I hope. Up! Up! And away!
Superman had gone there to warn the Apollonians and make an attempt to save them. And before he left, he told Dr. Millison that if all went well, he would return to Earth within 3 days. But now a full week has gone by with no word, and Dr. Millison is finally certain that Superman and Kent have perished. But as we learn now, Superman has not perished. For on the planet Apollo, where giant forests, great fields, and high, lonely mountains stretch as far as the eye can see, we find the Man of Steel lying on a sunlit hill at the edge of a forest of towering, silver-leafed trees. His eyes are closed and feel as if they are weighted with lead, and his limbs seem heavy with the weight of mountains. Struggling back to consciousness through fog-like mists, he recalls a strange experience, one he is not yet sure was real or only a dream.
Hairy giants at least 9 feet tall surrounding me when I landed on the planet. They couldn't speak. I tried to make them understand me. My name is Superman, I told them. I come from Earth. I've come to warn you that your planet is in danger. It was no use. I didn't know what I was talking about. But one of them brought me a clay bowl filled with water. I took this for a friendly gesture, and besides, I was very thirsty after my trip from Earth. I drank the water. Then I began to feel strange. My arms and legs got heavy. I began...
Did I dream that? Or was it real? I must find out. Got to get up. But I can't move.
Gritting his teeth, Superman tries to sit up, to rise, but his limbs will not obey his will. His eyes open, and he sees high above him in the silver-leafed trees brilliantly feathered birds, large as roosters, which hop and chirp through the branches. To his right, at the foot of the long hill, stretches a wide, fertile valley, and Superman's eyes widen as he sees a strange sort of pillared temple, roofed but without walls, made of smooth clay and flanked by terrace after terrace of oddly shaped, vividly colored flowers of every hue. A movement to his other side causes him to turn his head, and his breath expels sharply at what he sees. For there, squatting on their haunches in a semicircle, staring at him stonily, are dozens of the hairy giant men of his nightmare. Only now, Superman knows he is not dreaming.
I didn't just dream it. These giants, they're real. But what's the matter with me? I can't move. It's as if my arms and legs were stone. You men or giant creatures, whatever you are, you must know what's wrong with me. Help me. I'm come here to save you. To save you, can't you understand? Well, don't just squat there like wooden statues. Listen to me. Oh, what's the use? Either they don't understand or they won't talk. If I could just move. Now what? They're all getting to their feet. What? Why, they're bowing. What's that for? Oh, those 2 men coming up the hill. They're not giants. They're not covered with shaggy hair like these big fellows are. Strange garments they're wearing. Like tunics made of shining metal. Maybe I can make them understand me. You men, listen. My name is Superman. I come from the planet Earth to help you.
Salico?
Oh, if I could only move my hands enough to try some sign language.
Amos, thing.
No, wait a minute. What do you do? Oh, you want to put a helmet like the one you're wearing on my head? Well, go ahead. I can't see how that'll do any harm.
There. Now, speak.
What the... Are my ears playing tricks on me now?
It works, Thane. It works. Did I not say it would work, Cor?
Great Scott, I can hear and understand you now. Why didn't you tell me you spoke my language?
Nay, we speak not your language, stranger. It is the helmets we wear that transmit our minds' thoughts to each other.
Great Scott, I think I understand how this works. Your lips aren't saying the words I hear. You're still speaking a language I don't understand. But the meaning of your words, your thoughts, are reaching me in my language.
You understand well, stranger.
Tell us now. Who are you?
Well, whence come you? Why are you here?
Oh, only I weren't so strangely weak. Well, it'll probably pass over. Meanwhile, I'll answer your questions. My name is Superman, and I came here from Earth to tell you
Earth? Where is Earth?
that is another planet in the universe. A planet similar to yours, though somewhat larger.
Another planet?
Yes.
Inhabited by living, breathing people?
That's right.
But that's incredible.
Let me go on, please. I came here from Earth to help you, to save your lives.
Save our lives?
Yes, to warn you that our great scientists have reason to believe you are in great danger of destruction. Because your planet, which we on Earth call Apollo, is on the verge of plunging out of its orbit.
What is... hold your tongue, Cor. Proceed, stranger.
Our men of science believe that this planet is headed too close to the sun and may soon reach a point at which it'll be consumed by the sun's heat, so that all plant and animal life on it will perish.
Aye, it is just as I have said for some time.
What say you, Thane?
You have.
Some time ago, my observations led me to similar conclusions. But the Raz, our supreme ruler of the universe, ordered me to hold my tongue under pain of banishment. But now I know it's true. Our planet is doomed to destruction.
Woe is us.
Maybe I can help you convince your ruler and your people. If only I weren't so weak. I can't imagine
Quickly,
why.
Cor. Help him to his feet. We must get him to the court of Raz before he can no longer speak.
I say.
Come, my friend, put your arms about our shoulders.
It's all right, but what do you mean by before I can no longer speak?
Do you recall the water you were given to drink by the giants who first found you?
Water, yes.
Look about you. See how yon road is lined with what appears to be giant statues of stone?
Yes?
Those were not carved. They were once living men who turned to stone after drinking that same water.
What?
Aye. It is a liquid we call stone water, which ossifies living flesh and bones, turning it to cold, hard stone.
And
that is the water you drank, stranger.
No.
And now you, too, are turning to stone. The stranger regained consciousness.
Where am I?
You are in my house, stranger. Thank the stars you are still alive.
Your house. Oh, yes, I remember. Your name is...
Thane.
Yes, Thane. There was another man with you who...
Aye, his name is Cor.
Yes, he said the liquid the giants gave me to drink was turning me to stone.
Aye, that is so.
But that can't happen to me. I'm Superman. Nothing can happen to me.
Perhaps that is so.
Well, then, why can't I move?
I know not, stranger. However, I do not believe you are turned to stone. I have felt your hands and feet. They are yet flexible.
Why can't I move them? Why do I find it hard to breathe? What's wrong with me?
I know not. But perhaps there is some difference in our atmosphere which robs you of your strength.
Maybe that's it. Wait, I think I'm starting to feel a little stronger. Yes, it isn't quite so hard to breathe now.
Good. Perhaps you become now acclimated to our atmosphere.
Look, move my fingers a little.
Good.
Uh-huh.
Tell me, stranger, is it true what you said before of this planet being in danger?
Of course it's true. That's why I came here. To warn you and try to save you. Your planet is moving out of its orbit. At any time, in any hour, it may plunge out of its orbit and be drawn closer and closer to the sun, until it and everyone on it will be burned to a cinder.
Aye, it is as I have long believed, and as I tried to tell the Raz. But he and his master astrologers laughed at me.
I'll make them see the truth.
Oh, if you only can.
I must, and quickly, before it's too late. Please help me to my feet, Thane. Got to go to your Raz and his astrologers.
Oh, if only they will not laugh at you,
They
too.
won't. Don't worry about that. There, I can stand.
Your strength has returned?
Yes, a little. At least enough so I can walk. Take me to your ruler, Thane. Hurry.
Aye. It is but a short walk down the hill to the temple. Come. Yonder in the valley below us is the temple of the Raz.
I see.
Can you walk that far, stranger?
I don't know, Thane. Since we left your house, I've been getting weaker again.
But I thought your strength...
I know, but I'm weak again. But I've got to tell your ruler of the planet's danger and save the people here, but...
Courage, stranger. You must not die.
No, listen, I've felt better in your house. Get me back there. Hurry.
Aye. My daughter comes from the temple. She will help me. Lalo! Lalo, come quickly.
Stranger's dead, Father.
Nay, his heart beats yet, but faintly.
Oh, good.
See, the color comes back to his face. Hold the light closer, Lalo.
Aye, Father. No, they say in the temple of the Raz that this stranger's a spy from one of the slave tribes.
A spy?
Aye, so they say. And some hold he's one of our own people who lived and died here long ago and has now returned from the store of the dead for some evil purpose.
Oh, they are mad. This stranger comes here from another planet. Earth, he calls it, to warn us of a terrible danger. See, Lalo. He opens his eyes.
It is true. Look, he's awake again.
Where? Oh, Thane.
Aye, 'tis I, Thane.
Who is this with you?
This is my daughter, Lalo. Quickly, Lalo, remove the lantern. The light may hurt his eyes.
Aye, Father.
No. Bring the lantern back.
The lantern?
Yes, bring it closer to me, please. Hurry.
Bring the lantern to him, Lalo.
Aye, Father.
Oh, that's better.
What is?
I don't know. I feel better when the lantern's near me. It seems to give me strength. Look, Thane, you said something before that perhaps the atmosphere on this planet was different from Earth. And that's why I lost my strength.
I said it might be so.
Well, maybe that's the answer. And this lantern, the fire burning in it, must make some change in the atmosphere. Makes it more like Earth.
Earth? I do not understand.
Oh, Lalo. Continue, stranger.
Well, look. I can sit up now. When the lantern is close to my face, I feel much stronger. Tell me, Thane, what oil do you burn in this lantern?
It is the sacred oil of the temple.
Sacred oil?
Aye. There is a spring of it deep in the earth below the temple. Only the Raz and his astrologers, the physicians, and the families of the royal line are granted a small supply of the sacred oil to burn in our lamps.
I see. Well, look, can you get more of it? Enough to fill a few lanterns like this.
Oh, no. 100 of our strongest giant soldiers guard the sacred spring day and night.
That is true, stranger. It's impossible to go near it.
What? If you tell the Raz I need it. But it'll restore my strength so I can save him and his people.
Oh, we could not do that, stranger.
Why?
For they say at the temple that you're here for evil purposes.
Oh, of all the nonsense.
Even now they wait to hear you speak in the temple and to pass judgment upon you. Or never would they grant you the sacred oil.
I see. Well, then, there's only one thing to do. Thane, Lalo, please help me to my feet.
What do you propose to do, stranger?
Thank you. I must do everything I can to save the people on this doomed planet, and myself, too. I've got a plan. But I've got to act quickly. Come, I'll carry the lantern. You two help me walk.
A high-roofed amphitheater. There, on a raised dais, sits the ruler of Apollo, a wiry, middle-aged man with a hawk-like nose and a thick braid of black hair growing from the top of his otherwise shaven head, on front of which is tattooed a golden circle, bright as the tunic of beaten gold in which he is clothed. At his feet sit his 3 ranking court astrologers, their heads, too, entirely shaven, and their skulls tattooed with symbolic marks of the zodiac in gleaming silver. Temple bells begin a solemn tolling as Superman, still supported by Thane, approaches the royal dais, which is guarded by a dozen huge, ferocious giants, 9 feet tall, and fully as powerful as Superman himself. 100 men, court favorites of the Raz, who are seated on stone terraces, don the strange helmets, similar to those worn by Superman and Thane. And as the 2 men pause before the throne of the Raz, regard their red and blue-clad prisoner with hostile curiosity. Suddenly, the Raz raises his hand. The temple bells cease tolling. A hush falls on the assemblage. At a nod from the ruler, Thane speaks.
O my Raz, ruler of the universe, I commend to you this stranger who has come to us from another world to bring a message of utmost importance. I beg that you listen and give heed to his words.
What mean you he comes from another world? Do you, my court astrologers, know of the existence of other inhabited worlds?
Nay, O Raz, there are none.
None except those inhabited by spirits of our dead?
Then the stranger must be a spirit who has returned here for some purpose.
Nay, that is not so.
Of course not. I come from Earth.
It must be so.
It can be nothing else.
Hold silence. Tell us, stranger, if you are not a spirit, are you then a spy from some distant conquered tribe which smarts under my rule?
Certainly not. On the contrary, I have come here to save your life and the lives of your people.
What is that you say?
He speaks the truth, O Raz. I can prove he is no spy.
Then speak, then.
This stranger who calls himself Superman drank of the liquid which turns men to stone. 7 days have gone by, and still he has given no signs of ossification. Does not that prove that he is not of this planet?
Aye, it does.
It proves but that he is a spirit from a star of the dead.
An evil spirit come here to do us harm.
I wish to hear what he has to say. It will amuse me. Speak, stranger.
I come, as I told you before, from another planet. A planet called Earth, which is inhabited by millions of people, living, breathing humans.
It is a lie! There is no planet inhabited by people other than ours.
All other planets are peopled by spirits. Silence! Let none speak other than the stranger. Proceed. Why did you come here?
Because scientists on Earth have discovered that your planet is in danger of utter destruction.
How is that possible?
Almost any day, perhaps even any moment, your planet may leave its orbit and plunge toward the sun, coming so close that every living thing here will be burned to a cinder.
What say you to that, my astrologer?
It is sheerest nonsense, sire.
Such a thing cannot happen.
Listen to me, sire. Heed this stranger, for I know he speaks the truth. For some time, my observations have indicated that all goes not well with our planet. This I have communicated to you, and you, in your infinite wisdom, have chosen to disregard my warning.
It is my belief that this is still nonsense.
No, listen to me.
It is a conspiracy against you, O Roz, between Thane and this spirit, whose presence he has conjured up through some strange magic.
That's ridiculous. Will you please let me
Thane has long been known to oppose your rule, O Roz. Know you not that he cannot be trusted?
Heed me, sire.
Hold, Thane. My astrologers speak words of wise counsel, since I have long known that you think me a despot, that you have decried my ruthless conquering of weaker tribes, that you frown with angry displeasure on our enslavement of the giants. Is that not so?
It is true, sire. The slavery is wrong, that all men have an equal right to live peacefully in freedom.
You hear that, sire?
You believe now that Thane conspired against
Wait
you?
a minute. Thane is right about all men being free, but what's that got to do with the fact that if you don't act soon with me, you'll be destroyed?
Again we say that is nonsense.
It is impossible.
It is not impossible. It's happened before. Listen to me a moment. Let me tell you about that. Some years ago, another planet, Krypton, was in danger of destruction. This came to the attention of a man of science like Thane, who attempted to warn his people of their danger, but they ridiculed him as you ridiculed Thane. But he continued to warn them, right up to the fateful day when strange rumblings were heard on Krypton. But they laughed at him, this time for the last time. Before long, the hour of destruction of Krypton arrived. It was too late for the scientist to save even himself or his wife. But he used a small-scale model of a rocket ship he had designed in which to save his son. And at the very instant that Krypton exploded into a million pieces, the tiny rocket ship bearing the child was launched. Finally, it arrived safely on Earth, where the boy grew into a man.
How know you this story so well, stranger?
Because I was that child. I came to Earth from Krypton.
You?
Yes. That's why I risked my life to come here to save your people from the fate suffered by all on Krypton.
It is a trick, sire.
Why, a trick to remove you from power.
Heed not the selfish mouthings of the astrologers, O my Ross. This stranger speaks the truth.
Of course I do. Give me your cooperation, and I'll help you build spaceships of the light, strong metal I've noticed here. In those ships, I can take you all safely to Earth.
Let us begin at once and work quickly, sire.
No. This stranger is the spirit who would take us all to the star of the dead.
He conspires with Thane to destroy us, sire.
Fools that you are!
Silence! I wish to consider the words of the stranger and his relationship to Thane. Slaves, take them to an anteroom and guard them well.
At the command of the Roz, the weakened Superman, still half supported by Thane, is led away to await the ruler's judgment. What will happen? We'll know in a moment when we return for the suspenseful climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Say, gang, you'd be mighty proud to be identified as a Superman crusader, wouldn't you? To be a part of his fight for tolerance and good sportsmanship? Well, the way to do it is to wear a Superman crusader ring. And Kellogg's Pep has fixed it so that you can get one of these slick-looking rings. And I mean, they're terrific, made of sturdy, silver-looking metal with a shiny, durable finish that'll keep right on looking shiny and slick for a long, long time. Superman's picture stands right out in the front, and the words Superman Crusader are printed clear and plain on the side. And the ring's adjustable, so it's easy to fit right on your finger yourself. Now, how do you get your Superman Crusader ring? Why, it's easy. Ask Mom to get you a package of that sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Tear off the box top and send it along with 10 cents in cash and your name and address clearly printed to Superman, Box 40. That's 40 Battle Creek, Michigan. You got that now? Send one box top from a package of Kellogg's Pep, 10 cents in cash, and your name and address clearly printed to Superman, Box 40. That's 40 Battle Creek, Michigan. Get your Superman Crusader ring from P.E.P., the sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
an anteroom of the Temple of the Roz, Superman and Thane await the judgment of the ruler of the planet Apollo. Guarded by 6 giants of fabulous strength, Superman retains consciousness only by sitting near the burning lamp, whose fumes provide an element lacking in the atmosphere of Apollo. Suddenly, the temple bells begin their solemn tolling.
What are the bells tolling for now, Thane?
That signifies that the Roz is ready to pass judgment.
Uh-oh.
The guards indicate that we shall go with them now. Come.
It is my considered opinion, stranger, confirmed by my wise men and astrologers, that you are in truth a spirit returned from a star of the dead.
No, listen to me.
Hold your tongue when the Roz speaks.
Further, I am in accord with the opinion that you have come here in a fiendish attempt to destroy me and my people.
How can you believe that nonsense?
It is likewise my belief that you, Thane, have conspired with this stranger.
Oh, no, Tyre.
Ridiculous.
For you have shown yourself to be the stranger's friend, where you have often shown yourself to be my enemy. Therefore, it is my decree that on the morrow, as dawn breaks, Thane shall be forced to drink of the liquid which shall turn him to stone.
Oh, no.
You can't do that. I won't let you.
What can you do against my giants without the flame of the sacred oil to give you breath?
Well,
It is only too true, Superman.
Yes, I'm afraid it is.
As for you, stranger, you are to be placed in a dark cell, to be kept there without food and drink, until your spirit departs once more to the star of the dead. Take them away.
I can see Apollo, all right. Looks as if there are a lot of high peaks on it.
Those are mountains, young man.
Oh.
Come on, Jim. You've spent enough time dawdling. We've got to get back to the
Oh,
office.
just a minute, Mr. White. I'm trying to...
To what? Now, don't tell me you're trying to see Kent and Superman up there.
Well...
Now, isn't that ridiculous? I thought if you saw Apollo through the telescope and realized how far away it is and the hopelessness of it all, you'd accept the inevitable.
Well...
Mr. White is right, Jim. You'll just have to make up your mind that you'll never see Clark Kent again.
I'm not so sure. He's with Superman, isn't he?
Well, yes.
Well, then he's all right. Nothing can happen to Superman, and I know he won't let anything happen to Mr. Kent.
Now, look, Jim, I feel just as bad about Kent as you do, but we must face the facts. You know, Superman told Dr. Millison that if all went well, he and Kent would come back to Earth within 3 days.
Oh, sure, I know, but
And now 8 days have gone by, and they're still not back.
Maybe, but I remember when he went to Utopia, he was caught for a while by the force of gravity up there. Maybe he's stuck on Apollo like that, too.
If he is stuck on Apollo, as you suggest, Jim, I'm afraid he and Kent are irrevocably lost anyhow.
What do you mean, Doctor?
Why? Why can't he work his way out of that as he did before?
I hate to say this, because it'll doom your last hope. But Apollo has already left its orbit.
What?
Huh?
Yes, and it's now revolving around its moon.
Good Godfrey.
Well, is that so bad?
Very bad. Because as it loses energy, it'll be drawn closer and closer to the sun, until it and every living thing on it, even Superman, will be consumed by the sun's terrible rays.
Oh, no.
His last hope for Clark Kent and Superman gone, Jimmy Olsen turns away from the pale Perry White and Dr. Millison to hide the tears in his eyes. Meanwhile, 31 million miles away on the doomed planet Apollo, Clark Kent in his identity of Superman is also on the verge of losing hope. With the elderly white-bearded Thane, Superman has been placed in a dark, thick-walled cell below the Temple of the Roz, deprived of the oil-burning lantern which effects a change in the atmosphere, thus permitting him to breathe. Superman has grown so weak that he can barely lift a hand and has to fight to retain consciousness.
It looks bad for us, Thane. Sorry I got you into this trouble.
Oh, blame not yourself, Superman. You meant well both for me and for my people. But even had you not come here and our planet were not in danger, my days would still be numbered.
What do you mean?
I have long been in ill favor with the Roz, our ruler. Oh? Because he feared that eventually I might lead the giant slaves and all the others in demand for their freedom.
How could the Roz enslave those huge, powerful giants? They're almost as strong as I was on Earth.
Aye, but they're slow-witted, and the Roz took advantage of them. He sent men secretly to the far mountains where the giants lived to pollute the rivers and streams with the liquid developed by his wicked physician. Hundreds of giants, after drinking the water, turned to stone.
Great Scott.
They put fear into their hearts. Then the Roz sent word that he would turn all the giants to stone unless they acknowledged him their god and master. Terrified by this magic, they could not fight. They came from the mountains to do his bidding. And with their aid, the Roz conquered all the people of this planet and made them his miserable slaves.
We've had men like your Roz on Earth, particularly a man named Hitler. But eventually, the freedom-loving nations got together, conquered those tyrants.
Oh, men are now free on this Earth you come from, Superman?
Yes, at the moment. And I wish I could help you free your people here, too. But for one of the few times in my life, I'm afraid I've failed.
It is clear that without the sacred oil to burn, you must perish. And tomorrow I will be forced to drink of the liquid, which will turn me to stone. Then all on this poor planet, the many good with the few evil, will be lost in the consuming heat of the sun.
Perhaps any hour. Oh, if only I could.
If only you could watch Superman.
Spring of sacred oil. A deep pool of it is just under this temple. It's a couple of 100 feet below us.
I know.
If only I could get to it and set it afire. That would restore my strength and I could save this planet.
But that is impossible, so think not on it. Save your small remaining strength.
This clay floor is only a couple of feet thick. If I had even half my usual strength, I could easily smash right through it. Oh, but what's the use? I can't break through. Right now, I can't even punch my way through a paper bag.
Oh, make no noise. The giant slaves stand guard outside this cell.
No use. I'm weak as a kid. Oh.
What is it?
Can't breathe in this atmosphere without the burning oil. Sorry, I wanted to help you, but Oh.
Superman! Oh, I fear this is the end of him. And with him goes our only hope.
His hands clasped in hopeless anguish, Thane stares down at the limp, motionless figure of Superman. Is this the end of the Man of Steel? We'll know more when we return in a moment for the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Say, I'll bet if you look around, you'll see lots of fellows and girls wearing Superman Crusader rings. And you'll want to be identified as a Superman Crusader, too, so you better get busy and send for yours today. That ring, you know, sort of symbolizes Superman's crusade for good Americans. What's more, that Superman Crusader ring Kellogg's Pep has for you is really a humdinger for looks. It's made of sturdy, silver-looking metal with a shiny, durable finish that'll keep right on looking shiny and slick for a long, long time. Superman's picture stands right out in the front, and the words Superman Crusader are printed clear and plain on the side. And the ring's adjustable, sure, so it's easy to fit right on your finger yourself. Now, here's how you can get your own Superman Crusader ring. Ask Mom to get you a package of that Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Send the box top along with 10 cents in cash and your name and address clearly printed to Superman, Box 40, that's 40, Battle Creek, Michigan. You got that now? Send one box top from a package of Kellogg's Pep, 10 cents in cash, and your name and address clearly printed to Superman, Box 40, that's 40, Battle Creek, Michigan. Get your Superman Crusader ring, gang, from P.E.P., the Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
When Superman lost consciousness in the dark, thick-walled cell below the Temple of the Roz, Thane, his elderly companion, abandoned all hope for himself and the people of the doomed planet Apollo. As we join him now, he sits with his head on his knees, so lost in despair that he pays no attention to a furtive scraping sound nearby. But suddenly the sound is louder. Then there is a hard, muffled thud and the brief settling of dirt. A low rush of damp, cold air chills Thane's ankles. Suddenly conscious of the change, he raises his head, but he can see nothing in the pitch darkness. Then, through a hole in the thick clay floor, emerges his young daughter, Lalo. Quickly, she pulls herself up and steps into the cell. A moment later, a silent, barefooted giant looms up behind her like a tremendous dark shadow.
Lalo! You sound, Father. Roz's giant slave stand guard just outside your cell.
I know. How did you... Lalo, beware. One of the giants is behind you.
Shh. It is Urt, the loyal slave of the princess.
The slave of the princess?
Aye. She sent him with me secretly to find a way into this cell and to bring both you and the stranger to her quarters.
Yes, but when? How?
When the Roz refused to heed her pleas for the lives of you and the stranger who calls himself Superman, she had Urt bring many jars of the sacred oil to our own quarters.
Yes?
Then we set out to bring Superman there, where the oil would be set afire to restore him to his strength, so that he may save us from the destruction that threatens us.
The princess has indeed a noble heart, but I fear she acts too late, Lalo.
What mean you, Father?
Because Superman is near to death, my child.
See how he lies there, scarcely breathing.
But his heart still beats, Father. Perhaps there's still time to save him. Ord, pick him up quickly.
But how can we...
Come, Father. There are secret stairways below here, one of which leads to the apartment of the princess. Ord will lead the way.
I fear it's too late, Lalo.
Oh, perhaps not. Ord, you lead the way.
Ah.
We must proceed with the utmost care, for many of the Rosa's soldiers are below.
Should we be seen or heard, we all die at once.
No, we'll be careful. Come, Father.
Aye, let's go. And may the great being protect us.
Be careful, Father. The steps are wet and slippery.
I will be careful, Lalo. Tell me, this giant, what is he called?
His name is Ord.
How can you be certain he is to be trusted?
He's the personal slave of the princess, and she swears she would trust him with her own life.
Oh, and he leads us now to her quarters.
Aye. The princess has many jars of the sacred oil hidden there. There we will set it afire, so that we may restore Superman's strength.
The princess, unlike her tyrant uncle Daraz, has both wisdom and a noble heart. Now, if only we are not too late to revive Superman.
Too late? You think perhaps he...
One moment. Does Superman still breathe, Ord?
Aye. But most weakly, sire.
Oh.
Lead us quickly to the princess before Superman expires. Hurry.
Aye, but have care, sire. Below us is a sacred oil spring guarded by the fiercest of the Raz's giants. Should they discover us, we will die quickly.
We will be careful. Come, Father.
Aye. Lead on, Ord.
Come, then. Here. We approach now a junction of two staircases, one of which goes down to the sacred spring, the other upwards to the quarters within the temple. Follow me closely.
We follow, Ord. Hold firmly to my hand, Father.
Aye, Lalo.
Hold. The junction is here. Turn to your right hand and ascend. Come.
To the right, Father.
Aye. If only we could see.
Have patience. I think it is not far now to the quarters of the princess. Tell me, Father, you spoke of a plan whereby you and he might still save all of us from being consumed by the sun.
Aye. What I hope
Quiet.
I do.
Move no further.
What is it, Ord?
Someone comes, sire. Listen. You hear?
I hear voices.
Aye. Perhaps the voices of the giant guards at the sacred spring.
Nay, sire. These voices come from above.
Aye, they do come from above.
I count 2, 3 voices of men who come from the temple and descend on these very stairs.
These stairs on which we stand?
Aye. There are no others from the temple. These men must go to the sacred spring for oil. Quickly, turn about and go back.
Go back where?
Back to the cell. Turn to your left hand. Quickly, sire. And you, mistress. We must hurry or we are discovered and lost.
Aye, over the wall, Father. Into my hand.
I do so, Lalo.
Now, turn now to your left hand.
Oh, this is indeed unfortunate. With Superman already so near death.
Save your breath, Father, and move quickly.
They are gone.
Wait. I hear someone up ahead.
Oh, whoa.
Listen.
Aye. Both Thane and the stranger have escaped.
The guards at your cell, sire.
A great hole in the floor.
They have discovered your escape.
Woe is us.
More and worse misfortune.
They escaped by the underground stairway. Come, after them. Aye, after them.
They come after us. What do we do?
What can we do? They come both from this staircase and from the temple. We are trapped.
There's but one chance. We must descend by the stairs to the sacred spring. Follow me.
We cannot go to the spring. You said yourself that Roz's fiercest giants guard it.
We are lost.
Hurry, please. There's a trail circling the pool of the sacred spring, which leads out into the hills. If we are fortunate, we may escape thus without being seen.
Hurry, we must attempt it.
Aye, lead on, Lord.
Come swiftly. But be careful not to stumble.
Oh, Star, be with us.
They cannot be long gone. Quickly! Thane and the stranger must not escape us. The Roz will demand our lives.
Our pursuers gain on us. Faster, Father.
Aye, Lalo, I go as fast as I can.
Take care. The stairs make another turn to the right hand.
I see, Lord.
Oh, evil misfortune.
Some of you go above on the stairway to the temple. The others come down with me to the sacred spring.
Almost can I feel the devil's breath upon my neck.
I fear our end is come, Lalo.
Do not yet give up hope, Father.
Hold.
What is it?
Why do you stop over? They are close behind us.
Just ahead. And below is the pool formed by the sacred spring.
I see it. And the lanterns of the giant's guards around it.
They are all around the pool. They will see us if we go further.
They are not at this far end of the pool, sire, where the dark moss trees stand. The trail, a narrow one, is between the trees and out to the hills. Descend behind me now, but with the utmost caution.
I would. We stay with you.
Lead on.
Come then, but make not a sound.
Here's the junction. You four go above to the temple. You others come below with me.
All right, we go.
Wood, the guards descend these same stairs behind us.
Oh, all is lost.
Make not a sound.
Wood, I am afraid.
Be not afraid. See, the trail is just ahead. We have not yet been seen. In another moment...
see them! You below, guards of the sacred spring. Capture the escaping prisoners of the Rod.
Now we are lost.
We're discovered. Run, mistress! You're too tired! Run,
Still carrying the unconscious Superman, the giant Ord leaps down the remaining narrow stairs, rushes toward the mossy trees lining the far end of the black pool, followed by Lalo and the elderly Thane, as mammoth hairy giant guards run to head them off. We'll learn what happens now when we return in a moment for the startling climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, one of the swell things about that Superman Crusader ring Kellogg's Pep is putting out for you is that when you put it on your finger, you start right out as a member of Superman's crusade for tolerance and good sportsmanship. And this ring is a symbol of that whole idea. And you're going to be proud of how slick it looks, too. It's shiny and silver-like, with Superman's picture standing out big and smiling on the front, and the word Superman Crusader right on the side. And it's made of such sturdy metal with such a durable silver-looking finish, it'll keep right on looking shiny and slick for a long, long time. Adjustable, too. Sure, you can fit it right on your finger yourself. Now, make sure that you're not the only one in your crowd who doesn't have a Superman Crusader ring. Ask Mom to get you a package of that Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep, right away. Send the box top along with 10 cents in cash and your name and address clearly printed to Superman, Box 40, that's 40, Battle Creek, Michigan. You got that? Send one Kellogg's Pep box top, 10 cents in cash, and your name and address clearly printed to Superman, Box 40, that's 40, Battle Creek, Michigan. And do it right away, gang. Tomorrow's the very last day I'll be telling you about this nifty Superman Crusader ring from P.E.P., the Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
Deep underground, beneath the Temple of the Roz, where the spring of sacred oil empties into a deep black pool lined by stunted mossy trees, Thane, his daughter Lalo, and the giant Ord, who carries the unconscious Superman across his shoulder, have been discovered by fierce giant slave soldiers of the Roz, who guard the sacred spring and pool. The weird half-light cast by the crescent-shaped lanterns of the guards throws huge shadows on the smooth clay wall as the giants swarm on Ord, Thane, and Lalo.
Lalo! Lalo!
Kill them! Kill them! Hey! Take them above to the Rod! It is he who must stay on the other side!
Overwhelmed by the many powerful giants, Ord, Thane, and Lalo are herded back to the steps to be taken to the Roz. During the fight, Superman had fallen to the ground where, partly revived by the burning oil and the lanterns about him, he has pulled himself dazedly to one knee. Now, as two of the huge giants each reach down a hand and drag him to the stairs, the Man of Steel makes a supreme effort, and taking them totally by surprise, seizes a lantern from a giant and deliberately hurls it into the pool of sacred oil. At once, a gigantic sheet of fire rises over the pool. Black waves of smoke billow through the vast cavern below the temple.
Now, you devils! My strength will come back and into the lake of fire! Let go of me! No! No! He's with him!
Father! You were meant to be thrown into the pool!
The fiend! He will be consumed by the flames! Now all is fully lost!
It is you, Thane, and your daughter Lalo who are responsible for this. You who have destroyed both my temple and the spring of sacred oil.
Oh, you universal one! We meant only good.
Aye, it was our hope to revive Superman, and with his help to save all on this planet.
You hear, Loran? Thane admits conspiring with the evil spirit. He who calls himself Superman.
He is not an evil spirit. He comes from the planet Earth to help us to save ourselves from destruction when our planet leaves its orbit and is carried into the sun.
Aye, but now Superman is gone. That means an end to us all.
Fools! Think you still to trick me with this talk of our star being carried into the sun? Guards! Take Thane and his daughter Lalo and this slave on the ground and cast them into the fires of my temple.
No!
Wait! Do what you will with me, but spare Lalo and the poor slave.
Farewell, traitors, and a happy journey to the star of the dead.
Stop! Put Thane and Lalo down, and Ord too.
Who is this strange creature who drips with oil?
I know not, Oraz. He dropped from the sky.
Put them down, I said.
No! The Roz has ordered...
All right. Remember, you asked for this.
Father, who is this?
Gracious stars, it's Superman. Behold, Summer. The stranger looks on our giants as if they were straws.
Aye, he must be another evil spirit.
Quick, Thane, Lalo, up with you.
See, Oraz, the evil spirit seizes our prisoners.
Stop him! Stop him!
Up with Ord now. There we are. Now, up and away!
We seem to fly. We must already be spirits, Father.
Oh, you're very much alive, Lalo.
I cannot understand, Superman. I thought you perished in the lake of blazing oil.
On the contrary, the fire revived me, and apparently just in time.
I thought Lalo and I had breathed our last. Tell me, have all men on your Earth this amazing power of flight?
No, but there's no time to go into that now, Thane. No telling how long my strength will last. Before your atmosphere weakens me again, there are things to do. First, I need a sample of your atmosphere to take with me to Earth.
To Earth?
Yes. Got to get back there at once and let our scientists try to build me some defense against your atmosphere. Then I'll come back. You, Thane, you said you had a laboratory.
Aye.
Do you have a pressure-proof container? Perhaps this metal your mental telepathy helmets are made of, in which I can take back some of your atmosphere?
Aye, I have, in my laboratory.
Where is that?
Below there in the woods. It was necessary to hide it from the Roz and his jealous astrologers.
Those woods down there?
Aye.
Down!
Poor Ord. His eyes are still closed.
Don't worry about him, Lalo. Got a bad knock on the head, but he'll come around. Now, that atmosphere sample, Thane.
It is here, Superman, in this metal ball.
Good.
Listen to this, Superman. My instruments register a temperature far higher than any known here. And these, on which I have attempted to gauge the action of our planet in its orbit, perform strangely. I am unable to understand it.
You're probably being drawn closer to the sun every moment. There isn't a second to waste. Now, tell me, where can I take you so you'll be safe from the Roz until I return?
Do you not take us with you to your Earth?
I wish I could, Lalo. But since I can hardly breathe on your planet, the chances are you and your father couldn't breathe at all on Earth.
Aye, that sounds reasonable.
Tell me quickly, what safe place on this planet can I take you to?
Why, let me consider...
Hurry, Thane,
Why not
hurry.
the village of our cousins, Father?
Aye, Lalo, that is good. They will hide us there until Superman returns.
Hurry, then. Come outside and we'll get started. Where is this village of your cousins?
Beyond the distant mountains there, where lie the lake of silver mercury.
Mercury?
Aye, it was there I fashioned many of my instruments.
I see. All right, up with Ord first. There we are. Are you, Lalo?
Oh, you're stronger than our giant, stranger.
Only my strength holds out till I get back to Earth. Up with you now, Thane. Come on. That's it. All right, hold on now. Up! Up! And away!
There is the Sea of Mercury below, and the village of our cousins lies just beyond on the side of the Black Mountain.
I see it. I'll drop you on that ridge just above the village. Down! All right, here we are. What are those queer shrill sounds?
Oh, those are the Tikas.
The what?
A Tika creature is half bird, half fish, Superman. It lives both in the Sea of Mercury and in the silver-leaf trees you see there.
What a paradise this would be for our naturalists. Are these creatures harmful?
Nay.
They're as harmless as house pets.
Good. I can leave you then.
What is it, stranger?
I don't know. The heat or the atmosphere is beginning to weaken me. I better get started while I can.
Goodbye to both of you, and unless something happens to me, I'll be back very soon.
May the great being protect you, my son, and carry you safely.
Thank you, Thane. Goodbye, Lalo.
Farewell, noble stranger.
Good luck to you both. Up and away!
High in the air above Apollo, Superman pauses for a moment to wave to Thane and Lalo, two tiny figures on a mountain ridge above the Sea of Mercury. Then he turns and streaks away and presses onward with the speed of light into the terrors of space itself, bound homeward for Earth. We'll return in a moment for the tense climax of today's episode, so stand by.
Remember, gang, this is your last chance. The very last time I'll be telling you about that slick-looking Superman Crusader ring Kellogg's Pep is putting out for you. So get busy right now and send in for yours. Don't miss out because this ring identifies you as a part of Superman's crusade for good Americans. Makes you a Superman Crusader, too, like all your pals who'll be wearing Superman Crusader rings. And believe me, this ring is really terrific. Shiny and silver-looking with Superman's picture standing out on the front and the word Superman Crusader right on the side. It's adjustable, too. You can fit it right on your finger yourself. And it's made of sturdy metal with a durable silver-looking finish that'll keep right on looking shiny and slick for a long, long time. Now, here's what you do, and do it right away because this is your last day. Ask Mom to get you a package of that Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Send the box top, 10 cents in cash, and your name and address clearly printed to Superman, Box 40. That's 40 Battle Creek, Michigan. You got that? Send one Kellogg's Pep box top, 10 cents in cash, and your name and address clearly printed to Superman, Box 40. That's 40 Battle Creek, Michigan. Don't wait, gang. Remember, this is the very last day. Send for your Superman Crusader ring right away from P.E.P., the Sunshine Cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
Homeward bound from Apollo, Superman has passed beyond the orbit of the planet, beyond its last vestige of atmosphere, and is now streaking through the awesome cavernous reaches of space itself. His amazingly keen eyes are fixed on the tiny green-tinted sphere of Earth, where it rotates on its axis between the white star of Venus and the lurid reddish glow of Mars. Eagerly, fully realizing the importance of his mission, Superman calls on his powerful muscles for their final ounce of speed, forgetting for a tiny moment that he is streaking across the path of the sun. Suddenly he flashes through a vast prismatic shaft of half-light, feels himself immediately stricken as with a billion sharp hammer blows. His body becomes numb and his flight is slowed.
What happened? I'm stopping. I must go on. Away! I can't. My strength's leaving me again. Wait! Great Scott, not that way. I'm being drawn towards the sun. No!
Frantically, feeling his strength leaving him, seeing himself drawn toward the great, merciless white ball of heat which is the sun, Superman fights as he has never fought before. Fights for his very life, knowing that if he is drawn into the violent, immeasurable X-rays of the sun, even he must be destroyed.
I must get away. I must. Thane, Lalo, all on the planet Apollo will be doomed unless I can save them. I must get back to Earth. I must. Away! If I'm drawn much closer to the sun, I'll be finished. I must get through, but my strength is going. Got to get back to Earth. Find out how to save people on Apollo. Away! There. Made a little headway that time. I can't stand this much longer. Once more. Away from these terrible rays. Away! There. I gained a little more. Away!
Desperately, with every ounce of strength and will in his powerful body, Superman fights as he has never fought before, against the merciless rays of the sun, which make even man's newly discovered atomic power seem puny. Battling for each yard of progress, he continues a little more. Then he girds himself for a final effort in this titanic struggle for his existence. Hours later, in Editor Perry White's office in the Metropolis Daily Planet, the gray-haired editor and cub reporter Jimmy Olsen, both swallowing hard to control their emotions, regard the galley proof of page 1 for the next edition, on which, across 3 columns bordered in a heavy black margin, is a photograph of Clark Kent, whose identity as Superman is unknown to his friends.
Great reporter who gave his life to aid humanity. That's a swell caption, Mr. White.
Oh, thanks. I wrote it myself. I wrote the story about Kent, too. Did you read it, Jim?
Uh-huh. Gee, Mr. Kent gone. I can't realize I'll never see him again.
Yeah, it's hard to get used to that.
And Superman. We'll never see him again either. Or have him to help us out of jams.
That's a terrible blow, Jim.
Are you sure there's no hope for them?
Of course, and so is Dr. Millison. They've been gone for 10 days now, and Superman said if he and Kent weren't back within 3 days, we'd know they'd been lost.
I know, but why'd they have to take Mr. Kent along? He isn't a Superman.
Well, I guess Kent saw a chance to get the biggest story of the age and to learn things which would be of great value to us on Earth, so he insisted on going along. He was a great reporter.
Yeah, and a great guy. Gosh, Chief,
Now, Jim, don't blubber. Kent wouldn't want you to.
I'm not.
Mr. White, Jim, come quick, hurry up.
Well, what's the matter with you, Beanie?
Creepers, don't stop to ask questions. Come on,
Come
hurry.
where?
What happened,
When
Beanie?
you see. Oh, golly, come on. Come on to Mr. Kent's office.
Well, what's in Kent's office?
When you see. Come on, hurry.
Cleats. Look, Mr. White, at the typewriter.
Good
You
God.
see? It's a ghost.
Ghost my eye. Kent, now what in the name of...
Okay, there, that's done. Now, if I don't get back from the next trip, the whole story of Apollo is right here, Chief.
Oh, gosh, Mr. Kent, I'm so glad to see you. I don't know what to do.
Thanks, Jim. I'm glad to see you, too.
No, never mind that. Now, you start talking, Kent, before I blow my top.
I'm sorry, Chief, but I'm not up to talking right now.
You're not up to it. But
I'm worried, and I'm more tired than I ever was in my life. The sun almost finished me.
The sun?
Yes, the direct rays of the sun in space. I fought for hours as I never fought before. What's more,
You fought against the sun. In space? Oh, what are you talking about?
He's confused, Chief.
Yes, that's right, Jim. I mean, Superman did.
Well, where is Superman now?
Oh, he's around.
Around where? I don't see him.
Don't be silly, Beanie.
Well, he's waiting for the same thing I am, a call from Dr. Millison. He said he'd call the moment he finished analyzing the sample of atmosphere I brought back from Apollo and devised the means for me to keep my strength up there.
Keep your strength?
I want to go back to the planet once. And if I don't come back this time, well, I've written the whole story of Apollo for you and for everyone else on Earth.
But why do you have to go back to Apollo?
Jim, there are millions of people up there.
There are.
And unless I find some way to act and act very quickly, they'll all perish. Every second counts. Maybe that's Millison now.
No, wait, Kent.
Hello? Clark Kent speaking. Who? Oh, yes, Dr. Millison. What's the good word?
Oh, boy, so much has happened in the last few minutes. My
You
head's
did, huh?
going round
Hey,
and
that's
round.
fine.
I'm going round and round.
I'm going
Oh, I
wacky.
see. Well, yes, of course. I'll be right over. I mean, I'll contact Superman and tell him you want to see him at once. Right, Doctor. So long. Well, here I go again.
Now, wait, Kent.
Where are you going, Mr. Kent?
Back to the planet Apollo, I hope.
Gee, Wallaker.
But, Mr. Kent...
No, wait. You can't just
I'm
go off
sorry,
this
but I
way.
can't delay a moment. The story I wrote will tell you everything. Read it. So long. Kent said you were ready to see me, Dr. Millison.
Yes, Superman. I've analyzed the sample of air you brought from Apollo, and I know why you lost your strength up there.
You do? Why?
Because the atmosphere on Apollo consists of more than 20% krypton gas.
Krypton gas.
Yes. Anyone else on Earth exposed to an atmosphere with such a low oxygen and nitrogen content and so high a krypton content would die almost at once.
I see.
People in Apollo must have a slightly different lung structure from ours.
Uh-huh.
Probably a different body chemistry in general.
Well, then they couldn't exist on Earth, in our atmosphere.
Oh, not possibly.
Uh-oh.
And no one from Earth, except you, could have existed for so long a time on Apollo.
And even I practically ceased to exist until I managed to set their lake of sacred oil on fire. That restored my strength. How do you account for that, Doctor?
There's obviously some element in the oil which, when burned, added the required oxygen and nitrogen to the air which you needed.
I see. Well, tell me, can you devise something for me, a tank or something I can carry which will serve the same purpose as the burning oil and allow me to keep my strength on Apollo?
Yes, I think I can, but, well, it won't last for a great length of time, of course.
It's only got to last long enough for me to save the Apollonians. But wait, Doctor. I had in mind the use of rocket ships to take the people away, but you say they won't be able to exist on Earth.
No, they won't.
Well, then how can I save them?
I have another plan to save the people on Apollo and their planet as well.
You have?
Yes, it's just possible that you can accomplish it.
What?
But it'll be tremendously difficult. And risky, too.
Never mind how difficult and risky it is. There are human beings up there, millions of them. And 2 of them risk their lives for me. I'll do anything possible I can to save them. Anything.
All right, Superman. Here's the outline. Oh, excuse me. Dr. Millicent speaking. Who? Oh, yes, Dr. Bloomfield. Now, listen, I have news for you. Superman's here, and he agrees to... What? What's that? Great heavens, when?
What happened, Doctor?
I see. Yes, I'll tell him. Well, this is a great shock. Goodbye.
Millicent, you've turned so pale. What's happened?
You won't have to go back to Apollo now, Superman.
What do you mean?
It's too late.
What?
Too late to do anything for Apollo now.
Alarmed, Superman stares at Dr. Millicent, from whose worried face all color has drained. What does the scientist mean? We'll know in a moment when we return for the startling climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, gang, I've been practically bursting with news all weekend. I could hardly wait to tell you today about that brand new series of comic buttons Kellogg Pep is putting out for you. Because I knew you'd be excited about it, too. Think of it, 18 new and different funny paper characters to collect and to wear on your jacket or your dress or cap. And to swap duplicates with your pals. That's fun that lasts and lasts. And believe me, these new comic buttons are really something to see. The colors are so bright and sharp, and the pictures of your favorite comic strip characters are so real that, well, you'd know them anywhere. Take Barney Google, for instance, with his derby hat and his button nose. Or Beezy from Harold Teen. He's kind of on the tubby side, isn't he? Or Superman himself. So powerful and good-looking. Yes, every one of these new Pep comic buttons is an eye-catcher, believe me. And the best part is, they're so easy to get. You don't send in any money, not even a box stop. And you can't buy them anywhere. But you find one of these exciting prizes in every package of Kellogg's Pep. That's the Sunshine cereal, you know. Crisp golden flakes of good whole wheat that are loaded with catchy, sunny flavor. For a nifty dish for breakfast and for nifty prizes, tell Mom you want P-E-P. Kellogg's Pep.
In his laboratory, Dr. John Millicent, world-famous scientist, has just startled Superman by saying...
You won't have to go back to Apollo now, Superman. It's too late. Too late to help the unfortunate people on that doomed planet now.
What do you mean, Doctor? Why?
That was Dr. Bloomfield who just called. He's in the observatory at Mount Arthur.
Yes?
He tells me that a little over an hour ago, the planet Apollo passed completely out of view of our telescope.
What? Well, just what does that mean?
It means that Apollo has already left the temporary orbit in which it was revolving around its own moon and is now lost in space.
Great Scott, then...
Somewhere in space, it's being controlled by the sun, being drawn into it to be burned and disintegrated.
No.
Now, not even you, Superman, can find and save the poor doomed souls on the planet Apollo. I'm afraid you'll never return to the planet Apollo, Superman.
Why?
Because it's no longer visible.
What happened?
Apollo is lost in space, and all of its people are doomed. Not even you, Superman, can help them now.
But I must help them, Dr. Millicent. I must save them.
It's impossible now to do anything for them, Superman. You see, for 3 days since Apollo left its orbit, it's been revolving around its own moon.
I know that,
Let me explain. As it lost energy, it became subject to the gravitational pull of the sun. Until now, it's somewhere in space, so close to that ball of fire that nothing can save the planet and everyone on it from being consumed.
Great Scott, is it really that bad?
Unbelievably bad. Matter of fact, we don't even know where the planet is now. It may already have come so close to the sun that the direct rays have consumed Apollo's atmosphere.
On the other hand, there is still at least an outside chance that I may be able to find it in time, to do something about saving Sane and Lalo and all those other millions of helpless human beings up there. Look, Dr. Millicent, you said you had an idea how I could save them. What did you have in mind?
Well, I thought that perhaps by driving deeply into the very core of the planet and releasing the gases and other energizing matters penned up there...
Yes.
It's just possible that the tremendous energy so released in a form of jets might speed up the revolutions of Apollo enough to give it added centrifugal force and thus reestablish its orbit.
I think I see what you mean.
But that's impossible now. The planet is lost, irrevocably lost.
I'll find it. Now, look, you said you could prepare something, a mask and tank or whatever, that would neutralize the high content of krypton gas in Apollo's atmosphere and permit me to preserve my strength up there for a limited time.
Yes?
How long will it take you to fix it?
Well, not more than a couple of hours. However...
Then get busy on it at once, please. Every second counts.
No, Superman, I can't let you do it.
You must. After all, those
You told me you were caught in the direct rays of the sun on the way back from Apollo, and we're almost finished. Isn't that so?
Yes, but this
Well,
time...
this time you'll have to approach even closer to the sun. You may very well be destroyed, and I can't let you risk almost certain death when you're so valuable to us on Earth.
Look, Dr. Millicent, get this and get it straight. Whatever you say or do cannot stop me from making a try. Because I gave Thane and Lalo my word that I'd be back to try to help them. And I always keep my word. I may be valuable here on Earth, but I'm not indispensable. No one man is in a democracy. So Earth can get along very well without me, as it did for so long. But Apollo is doomed unless I can save it. And I'm going to try even if you refuse to make me the defense I need against its atmosphere.
Very well. I guess you win.
Good.
I'll get started on that anti-krypton device at once. Shouldn't take more than a couple of hours to construct it.
All right, but hurry, Doctor. For heaven's sake, hurry.
As Superman anxiously paces the floor of Dr. Millicent's laboratory, impatient to be off on his perilous mission, millions of miles away in space on the doomed planet Apollo, another scientist, the elderly white-bearded Thane and his daughter Lalo, sit in the mouth of a cave on a hillside above the Sea of Mercury. Sunlight, stronger and brighter than any the inhabitants of Apollo have ever known, bakes the land, and the dry wind blowing down through a pass in the mountains seems to come from a raging oven. All in this tiny village of Thane's birth have been driven from the heat of the valley into caves in the hills. And even the strange tika birds, which ordinarily nest in the black and silver-leafed trees by day and swim in the Sea of Mercury only at night, now have left the heat of the trees to stand on the edge of the strange sea and complain in their weird calls against the unaccustomed warmth of the liquid. Mopping her perspiring face, Lalo fans her weakened father with a small branch of leaves as they await what seems to be certain destruction by the sun.
You are kind, Lalo, but the fanning stirs only the hot air.
I thought it might help a bit, Father.
Nay, sit quietly. That is best. Does water still remain in the wells?
No, not much. And that fills people's hearts with fear. What is to happen to them? And to us, Father?
I fear the worst, Lalo. For I know now that this star we live on has left the orbit in which it revolved and is being drawn closer into the merciless, naked heat of the sun.
But what will happen as we approach closer to the sun?
That is simple. We and all else on this poor doomed star will be destroyed, consumed by the power and heat of the sun's rays.
Oh, whoa. And nothing be done to avert this catastrophe?
Nothing. Unless, perhaps...
Perhaps what, Father?
Unless the stranger from Earth, he who calls himself Superman, returns.
Aye. He's possessed of great powers, and he flies through the air. He seems also to have the strength of full 20 of our giant slaves.
And he has also great wisdom.
Father, he promised to return. Perhaps...
Aye, but I know not if he can discover us now in the great space void. Perhaps even now he seeks for our star and seeks in vain.
Oh, say not that, Father, please.
I fear it is the truth, my child.
Oh, no.
Oh, if only the Raz had listened to me and to Superman instead of to his own cruel heart and to his ignorant astrologers. But now I fear it is too late.
Perhaps not, Father. Perhaps Superman will find us.
He is our only hope. Wait. What is that distant rumbling?
Thunder?
No. It sounds somewhat different from thunder.
But what else can it be, Father?
I know not, but I fear...
Mr. Lalo!
Who calls?
Oh, it is Ord, the slave giant of the princess whom Superman brought here with us.
Oh, yes, I had forgotten.
Sire! Oh, wise one.
What is it, Ord?
The far snow-capped mountains, from where I and the other giants came.
What of them?
There is no snow-capped mountain now, Ord. I saw this morning how the great sun had melted the snow.
Aye, but no, sire. The great sun melts the mountains themselves.
What? What is this you say?
Come, look beyond this ridge for yourselves. All in the village stand now and shake with fear at what they see. And at the strange thunder, which is not the thunder of a storm.
Come, let us see, Lalo. If this be true...
Oh, it is true, Father. Behold, the distant mountain peaks collapse and disappear before our very eyes.
Oh, it is as I feared.
The great being have mercy on us.
This cannot be, Father. I must be dreaming.
You dream not, my daughter. As our star draws closer to the sun and rotates more slowly, it loses energy and matter. The disintegration of our star has begun. Our end is near.
Face ashen white, Thane puts a comforting arm around his trembling daughter, as together with the giant Ord, they watch in awe as the far-distant mountain peaks crumble like stacks of children's blocks, then disappear. Is Superman too late? We'll know more in a moment, so stand by for the tense climax of today's episode.
Say, gang, if you haven't joined up in the Junior Red Cross membership drive, don't put it off another day. Ask your teacher about it tomorrow at school. Find out what a wonderful way it is to lend a helping hand to children who need it, both here and overseas, and to help keep the Red Cross many activities going, like those swell Red Cross life-saving courses, for instance. Yes, sir, the Junior Red Cross is one organization you want to be part of. So get your membership tomorrow.
Helplessly, Thane and Lalo on Apollo can only watch the disintegration of their doomed planet. As millions of miles away on the terrace before the observatory on Mount Arthur, Superman, a pair of metal cylinders strapped to his back, stands once more with Dr. Millicent and his colleague, Dr. Bloomfield.
For the last time, Superman, I beg you to give up this trip. I tell you, you're practically committing suicide.
Let's hope not, Dr. Millicent. Anyhow, I'm going to make a try at saving Apollo.
But Dr. Millicent is right, Superman. Even if you do find Apollo, which I doubt, it will be so close to the sun that you'll almost certainly lose your life.
Afraid I've got to risk that, Dr. Bloomfield.
But look here,
See,
how can
now,
you...
I have the mask. You say there's enough nitrogen and oxygen in the containers for 24 hours, Dr. Millicent?
Yes, but no longer.
That should be long enough. I won't need it until I get on the planet. Oh, yes, there's no danger of the containers bursting in the stratospheric pressure, is there?
No, I've taken precautions against that.
Good.
But there are no precautions we can take against the power of the direct rays of the sun in space.
I know.
And the cosmic rays and sunspots.
So I still think you ought to...
Come, cheer up. This trip may not be nearly as tough as you think.
No? Well, I can assure you it'll be tougher than you think.
Yes. Please, Superman, won't you reconsider?
Save your breath, Dr. Bloomfield. I'm going. Now, just one more thing. I want to leave this envelope with you. As you see, it's addressed to Perry White. If I'm not back before the week is up, I'd like you to give it to him.
Of course. Is it your will?
It's something far more important than that. So please guard it carefully. Don't let it out of your hands until I get back to claim it, or until you give it to Mr. White.
I'll guard it with my life.
Thank you. Well, I guess that's all then. Goodbye, Dr. Millicent, and thank you for all you've done.
If only I could make you change your mind.
Don't bother, you can't.
Goodbye, then, and good luck.
Thank you, sir. Bye, Dr. Bloomfield.
Goodbye and Godspeed, Superman.
I'll be seeing you both soon, I hope. Up! Up! And away! No sign of Apollo yet. Nothing but space. Emptiness. Dr. Millicent was right. It's like looking for a marble in the Pacific Ocean. But I've got to find it. Oh, what happened? I'm getting weak. Direct rays of the sun. Cosmic rays must have caught me again. Got to get away from them. Fast. Away! There. I'm all right now, but I must be careful. The sun is like a terrific magnet, and I can't keep fighting it forever. If I'm going to find Apollo, I'd better find it quickly, or I'll be done for. Away! Locked once more in a titanic battle with the sun, the mightiest force in the universe, Superman darts, wheels, streaks in tremendous flights and whirls, like a flashing meteor himself, disdaining death as he searches for the lost planet Apollo. Meanwhile, like a rudderless ship lost in an endless sea, Apollo moves through space, drawing ever nearer to the all-consuming sun, whose great heat has already caused forests on the doomed planet to burst into raging flames, rivers and lakes to evaporate into nothingness. From his fire-gutted temple, the Ra's tyrant ruler of Apollo has gone to his summer palace on the hills above the parched Valley of Flowers. With the Ra's are his astrologers and court favorites. But many of the terrified people in an ever-swelling torrent have followed their ruler to the hills above the valley, where, surrounding the palace of metal and clay, they seethe and panic. Inside the palace, in his council room, the beak-nosed Raz sits cross-legged on the floor with his two chief astrologers, Zama and Kree. Fear is written in the lines of his swarthy, perspiring face. The golden circle on his forehead stands out like an angry ring of fire.
Suddenly, he leaps to his feet, rushes to a deep vent in the thick wall. He jerks a heavy curtain across the vent, shutting out the noise of the crowd below. Then he strides back to his astrologers, fury for the moment banishing his fear.
You hear them, my astrologers? You hear the hateful noise of the rebel who, in their fear for their lives, lose their fear of me? Soon, unless something is done, they may even rise against me.
Nay. They dare not, O Universal One.
They dare and they will. They think the star we live on is being consumed in heat and flame, and they would rise against me before they die.
But our star cannot be consumed.
Tell me then, Zama, how came the far snow-capped mountains to crumble like sand yesterday and then disappear? And whence comes this frightful heat, which causes our forests to blaze into fire of themselves, and our rivers and wells to dry up, and our crops to die?
It is the traitor Thane who is to blame for all this misfortune. Aye, Thane. And the evil spirit with whom he conspired. He who called himself Superman. Between them, they have brought this evil upon us. That is so, sire.
Perhaps you were right. It was Thane and this Superman who warned that our star would move into the great sun and be destroyed. Perhaps they have caused this to happen.
Aye, sire. If only you had heeded our counsel and turned Thane into stone at once. When first we acquainted you with this treachery.
It was the princess who interceded for him. Also, I feared his power with the people. If I but had the villain Thane here now, my giant slaves would make him die slowly and painfully.
Do your spies search for him now?
Aye, but how can they find him? It is my belief that when Superman flew from our star, he took with him Thane, the girl Lalo, and the giant who aided them.
But Superman could not have taken Thane and the other two from our star, O Ross.
What mean you, Cree? You saw them fly away?
Aye, but we say Superman is a spirit from a star of the dead. Thane and his daughter still live. They could not go to Superman's star without killing them. That is true. Superman must have deposited them somewhere upon this, our own star.
I had not thought of that. But if that is so, then why have my spies not found Thane? My orders were to search everywhere, in every village. I will have the Captain Corps in here at once.
Here is Corps now, sire.
Ah, Corps, I would speak with you.
What is your wish, my Raz?
I know that Thane must be somewhere in our land. I command you to find him at once, or your life will be forfeit.
I have come to report that Thane has been found, O Universal One.
What?
He has?
Aye, he was found in the village of his birth, on the ridge above the Sea of Mercury.
Good, excellent. Where is the villain now?
Below in the valley, sire.
Bring him to me at once.
That may be dangerous, sire.
Dangerous? What mean you?
Many of the people surround Thane. They say he warned of this calamity which has come upon us. If we attempt to harm him, we may precipitate a revolution.
Who speaks of harming him, fool? At least at this moment. Hear me, Captain. Say to Thane that I seek his wise counsel. Say that if he will come to me now and aid in saving our star, anything he asks shall be his. Anything.
But how can you offer this, Oraz? He will ask that you free all of our subjects.
Let him ask, and I will promise. I will even promise to abdicate from my throne in Thane's own favor if he asks.
Nay.
Silence. Thane, with his magic, is the only one who can save us from destruction. That is, with the aid of Superman, the evil spirit with whom he is in league. When they have done what we wish, I shall finish them quickly and then conveniently forget all my promises.
Aye, of course. You are wonderfully clever, Oraz.
Hurry, Captain. Carry my message to Thane and escort him here at once.
Planning to trick Superman into coming to his aid, the despotic Raz waits for Thane, unaware that at this very moment Superman is exerting every effort of his great strength and will in the search for the lost planet. In the limitless reaches of space, the Man of Steel has begun to circle the sun, fighting off its terrible numbing rays, flashing away from the deadly streams of electrons pouring throughout space from sunspots. Half blinded, he shields his eyes from the sun and continues to push onward.
I can't go on much longer. Getting weaker. But Thane and Lalo, everyone on Apollo will be lost unless I help them. Oh, those rays. They're worse than 100 cyclotrons. Where is that planet? Maybe Millicent's right. Maybe it's already been consumed by the sun. Wait. What's that? Far off there. Could that be? Yes, it looks like Apollo. Great Scott, now I don't see it anymore. Did my eyes play a trick on me?
Hoping against hope, Superman urges his tired muscles into another burst of speed and streaks away in the direction where he thought he had seen the doomed planet. Did he see it? And if so, what has happened to it? We'll return in a moment with the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Babe, you know what an encore is, don't you? You know, in the theater, when you like an act, you clap for more. Well, those Pep comic buttons are sure doing an encore now. Why, they're so doggone popular with all the fellas and girls in the gang, Kellogg's Pep is putting out a brand new series of 18 new buttons to collect. And Pep can take a bow for that, believe me, because these new Pep comic buttons are a sight to see. They're bright colored as anything on gleaming white enamel with the pictures of your favorite funny paper characters standing out clear and sharp, like Judy, for instance, from Gasoline Alley, and Barney Google, and Toots and Casper, and Superman himself with his red insignia on the bright blue jersey. Yes, sir, these new Pep comic buttons are really terrific, and so easy to collect, too. You don't send in any money, not even a box stop. Fact is, you can't buy them anywhere. But every time Mom opens a new package of Kellogg's Pep, there's one of these buttons as a prize inside. And there's mighty good eating for you, too, because Pep is called the Sunshine Cereal. It's loaded with catchy, sunny toasted flavor, crisp and fresh as can be. Tell Mom you want Pep for breakfast every day. And get your prizes from P.E.P., the Sunshine Cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
Superman makes a final desperate effort to locate Apollo. The elderly white-bearded Thane, weakened and sad, has been brought into the presence of the Roz, who pleads with him craftily.
Anything you wish will be yours. I will grant freedom to everyone in this land, as you have so often asked me to do, only save us.
But I tell you, there is nothing I can do, sire.
It's because he does not wish to aid us, Roz.
Quiet, Thomas. Hear me, Thane. Save us, and you shall have even my throne. I will abdicate in your favor.
That will not be necessary, Roz. For in but a short time you will abdicate in favor of the great being.
Speak not thus. It is you who can preserve us.
Nay, not I. Earlier, perhaps with the aid of Superman, he whom you scorned and seek to destroy. But now it is too late.
It cannot be. It must not be. Summon Superman to come back and help us.
Oh, if only I could, sire.
You must.
You summoned him once. Do so again, I beg of you.
I tell you, it is impossible, sire.
Hold. What is that?
Great stars. It sounds as if the end is near.
The whole palace shakes.
See, sire. The whole valley is cracking.
Speak, Thane. What is this, man? What happened?
I fear we have now come so close to the sun that our star splits and breaks apart in the sun's heat and terrible rays.
That is the end.
Nay, it is not so, Thane. Save us! Save us!
Would that I could, sire. Not for your sake, but for the sake of the helpless millions on this star who must suffer for your blind lust for power. But now nothing can be done. Our fateful end is at hand.
The Roz, tyrannical ruler of the planet, craftily offered Thane his throne if he would summon Superman and avert final destruction. But before Thane could reply to what was obviously a ruse, terrific explosions began to shake Apollo, and the elderly scientist cried out,
I fear this is the end. Our star is splitting apart, and no one can do anything to help us now.
As we continue now in the palace of the Roz, explosion after explosion rocks the planet. Zama and Cree, the court astrologers, have been thrown to the floor, where they huddle in terror. And the beak-nosed Roz, his swarthy face contorted with fear, grovels on his knees before Thane, whom he mistakenly believes can save them. Listen.
Only you, Thane, can aid us now. I beg of you, do not allow us to be destroyed.
But there is naught I can do, sire.
You can, yet save us. You must.
It is too late. Our poor star, torn from its orbit, moves into the merciless fire of the sun, whose terrible rays even now rend it to pieces.
Withdraw us, then, from the sun.
Oh, if only I could, sire.
Summon the evil spirit you brought here before. He who calls himself Superman. You and he brought this evil upon us.
Nay, we did not. We thought only to warn you of this.
Well, then can you not now protect us? Do this, Thane, and I will abdicate my throne in your favor. I will do anything.
I tell you, sire, there is nothing.
Thane. Always you condemn me for enslaving the people of this star. Save us now, and I will set them free, I promise. But Cree and Zama are witnesses to my promise. Save us, and all shall be on the star as you desire.
I only help us, Thane.
You are fools and cowards. Faced with destruction, you grovel in fear. Think you to save yourselves by righting old wrongs?
Aye, we were wrong to enslave the people. They shall be free, Thane, I promise. But you must save them and us.
How can I, a mortal man, bring miracles to pass?
You can summon Superman.
Aye. his powers and your magic can save us.
Yes, summon him, Thane.
I cannot summon Superman. I have prayed that he return and save my daughter Lalo and all the other innocent, helpless ones on this star. And so he promised. But I fear he is unable now to find us. He may even be lost. This is the end. We perish.
Hiding their faces in their hands, the Roz and his astrologers wail in anguish, certain that their end has come, as a violent explosion shakes the palace to its foundations. But unknown to them, and even to Thane, the thunderous explosions are not signaling the destruction of Apollo, but are caused by Superman in his effort to save them. Having finally sighted the lost planet in space, Superman, in a last desperate effort to counter the gravitational pull of the sun, is attempting a superhuman feat. Like a titanic battering ram, he is driving through the solid surface of Apollo, down through the rock and soil and subterranean waters and strata of the planet, boring, plunging to its very core. Finally reaching his goal, the Man of Steel releases in monstrous jets of pent-up gases, the hitherto unknown vapors and fires which crash and thunder in flashing energy up through the passage he has created.
I think this is working. At least the planet has stopped moving toward the sun. Now to bore through another spot to make a second jet of power. Away!
Again and still again, the Man of Steel drives through the surface of Apollo and is almost blown back into space by the tremendous jets of power he releases. Pausing only to catch his breath, he drives back still another time and another, piercing to the core of the planet. Vapors, gases, boulders, water, and oil burst forth with him. Now, like some gigantic ball, the planet Apollo spins faster on its axis, then gradually retreats from the sun to find its own safe orbit and rotates there once more. Then Superman fills in the tunnels he bored into Apollo's core, and it slows down to revolve normally again. A renewed satellite in the solar system. On Apollo, the inhabitants look at each other with dawning hope in their eyes. The ground is once again firm beneath their feet. The air is cooler, and soon rain begins to fall, feeding the parched soil and rivers and wells. In the palace of the Roz, as Thane looks on, the beak-nosed ruler and his two astrologers leap and cavort gleefully until they sink down exhausted. And then the Roz calls,
Hear me, Zama. You have a way with words. What is your wish, O Universal One? I would have you publish a proclamation to the people. Say it is my wish that tomorrow will be a day of celebration dedicated to me in gratitude for my saving my loyal subjects from destruction.
It shall be done, sire.
You would say that you saved them, sire?
So I wish it to be said. Do you object, Thane?
Certainly I object, since it was not you who saved our star from being carried into the sun, but rather some miracle, which at the moment I cannot rightly understand.
Nor do the people understand. But we will lead them to believe I am their savior. And being stupid rebel, they will believe, and so complain less of their lot. Is that not true, my astrologers?
It is true, sire.
Oh, you are wondrous clever, oh my Roz.
Nay, not clever, but wicked. Nor are the people rabble, as you call them. They are human beings, entitled to the freedom you promised.
I promised them freedom?
Aye. You said if we were preserved, you would grant the people their freedom. You said, too, that you would abdicate your throne.
I remember saying nothing so absurd. Did I, Zama?
Certainly not, sire.
Did you hear me say what Thane claims, Cree?
Never, sire. Thane lies as usual.
Nay, it is you three who lie. Now that you are delivered from destruction by the sun, you would return to your former ways of holding the people in slavery, treating them as cattle, while you continue to fatten on their toil.
Of course they are cattle. But how dare you say to your Roz that he lies?
It is treason.
Thane should be turned to stone for his blasphemy.
I shall go to the people and say the truth. That not you, but a miracle saved them. That you cowered in fright as they did. And that you promised their freedom if our star was spared.
You shall say nothing to them.
I shall. I go to them now.
Think you so? Guards, seize this traitor Thane and hold him prisoner, and bring here to his daughter Lalo.
Nay, let me go.
The two shall die at once. Then shall the people be told that Thane, who all know conspired with the evil spirit Superman, brought us to the brink of disaster from which I saved them.
They will not believe you. I shall so write it, sire.
Ah, clever plan. The rabble which supports Thane will be won away from him.
Aye. Fetch the girl, Lalo. This time we wait not to dispatch them. They die at once.
No, no.
Held fast by giant guards, Thane struggles helplessly as other guards rush out to bring in Lalo, to be executed with her father. We'll return in a moment for the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Say, don't you get a kick out of it when you can tell someone some good news? Well, that's the way I've felt all week about the brand new series of comic buttons and packages of Kellogg's Pep. I knew that you fellows and girls in the gang were going to be mighty enthusiastic because those Pep comic buttons have been mighty popular. That's why Pep put out this brand new series, you know, so you could have even more fun. And are they humdingers? Every one of these 18 new comic buttons is bright with color, really snappy looking. And the pictures of your favorite comic strip characters are true to life. Beezy and Goofy and Flash Gordon and Superman look so real that they could almost speak. Boy, the fun you'll have collecting all 18 in this new series and wearing them on your jacket or dress or cap and swapping duplicates with your pals. You wouldn't want to miss it. And you don't have to. No, sir, because they're easy to get. You don't send in any money, not even a box top, and you can't buy them anywhere. But there's a comic button in every package of Kellogg's Pep. And look for some mighty good eating, too, because Pep is a super delicious breakfast dish. Ask Mom to get you some P.E.P., the Sunshine Cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
As the Roz was condemning Thane and his daughter Lalo to die, Superman, having paused to rest from his tremendous labors, has gone to the distant village on Apollo where he had left Thane, Lalo, and the giant Ord. Wearing the half mask connected to the nitrogen and oxygen cylinders on his back and the mental telepathy helmet of the Apollonians, Superman finds the village entirely deserted. Alarmed for his friends, he takes to the air. Several miles along a narrow highway, he sees Ord and drops to the ground beside the giant.
Ord, wait! Oh, it is the spirit who flies, Superman.
That's right. Tell me what happened to everyone in the village. Where are Thane and Lalo?
The wise old one and his daughter were seized by the soldiers of the Roz.
What? When was this?
2, perhaps 3 days gone, when first came the strange thunder and the snow-capped mountains disappeared. In all that happened, I have lost trace of time.
Where did the soldiers take Thane and Lalo?
Where but to the presence of the evil Roz himself and his wicked astrologers.
Uh-oh.
I escaped from them and hid while they rounded up all the others in the village and dispatched them, accusing them of harboring Thane, whom they called a traitor to the Roz.
Great Scott.
Then I was delayed by the terrible explosions and shakings of the ground. Now I go to seek aid for Thane and Lalo from my mistress, the princess. But I fear I am too late.
Perhaps not. Up with you, Ord.
We fly through the air again?
We certainly do. All right, Ord, hang on. Here we go. Up and away!
Drink, my friend, so that you may remain with us forever as statues of stone.
Nay.
Compose yourself, my daughter.
Will they stand in your garden, O universal one?
It will amuse me to stroll there and see Thane, the statue.
Father?
Hush, I will stand in the square, a constant warning to any who dare plan rebellion against me.
An excellent plan, O Roz.
Aye, excellent.
Hear me, Roz. Destroying us will only hasten your downfall.
Indeed.
Aye. The people grow weary with the bonds of their slavery. The near catastrophe to our star brought them together, and the miracle which saved them gave them courage. They know me as their friend, and if harm comes to Lalo and me, I warn you, they will rise and overthrow you.
Hear the fool.
He is indeed a fool, sire.
The people know our giant soldiers would crush them to pulp.
Nay, you deceive yourself. The people know now they're made by the great being to walk free and equal.
Aye, destroying me will harden the people's will to throw off their bonds.
Never.
Heed my word. I say to you...
Silence. Your voice wearies me, Thane. Already my proclamation goes out to the people that you and the evil spirit you conspired with, he who calls himself Superman, together brought our star close to destruction, and that therefore he must die.
But that will...
Drink.
Nay, I will not.
Coward! My daughter did no wrong. Let her be.
Hold them and make them drink of the water that will turn them to stone.
As the giant giant slaves seized Zane and Lalo to make them drink the stone water. Superman, carrying the giant ore, is streaking through the air and is now in sight of the egg-shaped palace. Wearing the half-mask which protects him from the krypton gas in Apollo's atmosphere and the mental telepathy helmet which enables him to speak with the inhabitants, the Man of Steel sees the scene within the Roz's council chamber.
Uh-oh. Zane and Lalo are in trouble. Hang on, Ord. We're going down.
But the giant slaves guard the palace. Full 100 of them.
We're not going to tangle with them yet. We're going right through the wall. Down! Hold everything.
Superman, evil spirit.
Let go of Zane and Lalo.
Guards, slaves, kill him.
Not today, fellas. I'm not in a dying mood.
All right,
someone, come on. There are enough lumps for everyone.
Kill him quickly, or all of you shall be turned to stone.
Something tells me your killing days are all over, Oz. Sorry, Mr. Giant. Take this. Well, you're strong, my big friend, but you need boxing lessons. This'll cool you off.
What shall we do, sire? Superman overcomes the giant.
Summon all my giant guards, all of them quickly.
Let them come. The more the merrier.
Have care, Superman.
Quick, Ord. Take Zane and Lalo away through the back entrance. Hurry.
Kill him, guards.
Well, looks as if I'm really to get a workout now. Okay. Take this.
And destroy him. Destroy him, or each of you shall be destroyed.
His fists working like steel pistons. Superman slashes and flails at the 100 powerful giants. Hairy, great-muscled men 9 feet tall who swarm upon him, seeking to bear him down to the floor and destroy him. Seizing one, then another, he hurls them at his onrushing foes, takes to the air above their heads with giants spilling from his cape, then drops down again to rain punches as giant after giant groans and collapses. Then, as his massive slave soldiers are deposited in ever-growing silent heaps upon the floor, the beak-nosed Roz and his astrologers grow pale and begin to tremble. Finally, when it appears certain that none of the ferocious giants will be left standing, the Roz and his astrologers turn with one accord and rush from the wrecked council chamber, bleeding with tears.
And now, you last two. One to the chin like this, and ditto for you like this. That does it. These fellas were tough. What with fighting the sun's rays, and then these chaps, there's never a dull moment up here. Uh-oh. Now what?
In here. Follow me, my friend.
Say, I thought I sent you out with Lalo.
You have already defeated all the giants, Superman.
Well, of course. What are you doing back here?
Great stars. What?
Tell me, why are these people here with you? Does this mean more trouble?
Nay, the people of Apollo have risen behind me, Superman, and have come to your rescue.
Well,
we reasoned it was you who saved our star from destruction, so we must help you. And now, if ever, was our time to rise against the wicked Roz.
Aye, we hold now the scoundrel prisoner. We will see him drink of the stone water this time.
Aye, he and his astrologer shall be turned to stone.
Oh, one moment. The people have promised to heed your counsel, Superman.
Oh, well, now, look.
Tell us how you, on your star, which is called Earth, govern yourselves, and what we shall do now.
Well, I think what you should do first is to have a general election. Let the people vote for the men they want to govern them.
We vote for Thane to be our Roz.
Aye, Silence, I beg of you. Then what, Superman? Shall the people, as they wish, be permitted to make the Roz and his astrologers drink of the stone water?
Aye. Make them drink now.
Silence! Let Superman speak.
Well, we had a situation very much like this on Earth. The rulers of a nation called Germany enslaved and plundered a good part of the world before the freedom-loving peoples banded together and finally defeated them. When the war was over, we gave the German leaders a fair trial.
Do you counsel us then to give the Roz and Zama and Kree and their soldiers a trial?
Yes, I do. That's the fair thing. Yes. On Earth, we feel that every man accused of a crime, regardless how strong the evidence against him is, deserves a trial.
Then so shall it be here. Will you stay with us and help us establish a free government, such as you have on your star, Superman?
Unfortunately, I can't, Thane. You know I can't breathe in your atmosphere without these cylinders of nitrogen and oxygen, and they're almost empty now. Besides, Thank God, I just remembered.
You seem distressed. What is it?
Oh, I have no idea how long I've been gone from Earth this time. It must have been several days I spent traveling through space looking for Apollo and then getting it back into its orbit. There was no day or night in space, so I lost track of time.
Oh, what does this matter, Superman?
Matters a great deal, Lalo, because I left a letter to be given to a friend, a man named Perry White, at the end of the week in case I wasn't back on Earth by then. And that letter reveals my double identity.
Your what?
I do not understand.
Well, there's no time to explain now. But unless I get back to Earth before Mr. White gets that letter, well, it'll be just too bad. Goodbye and good luck, Thane, Lalo, all of you.
Wait.
Don't go yet. We haven't properly thanked you.
Don't bother. Perhaps I'll see you again. Take care of yourselves. Up and away!
Leaping above the crowd of grateful Apollonians, Superman pauses briefly to wave to them, then streaks away through the wrecked wall of the palace and turns toward the distant Earth, worried that the secret of his double identity may already have been exposed. And Superman has good reason to be concerned, as we'll find out in just a moment. So stand by.
Say, think of it, gang. 18 brand new comic buttons to collect from packages of Kellogg's Pep. A brand new series of comic buttons, like the ones you've had so much fun with. That's something to get excited about, isn't it? And these new Pep comic buttons are the best-looking things you ever saw. Bright-colored, gleaming white enameled background, the pictures of your favorite funny paper characters standing out so clear and sharp. 18 different buttons in all. Toots, Casper, and Barney Google, the Little Moose, Superman, just to mention a few. They're all old friends from the funny papers, and their pictures are really true to life. You'll want to collect every single one of these new Pep comic buttons. And you'll want the fun of swapping duplicates with your pals, too. That's excitement that's hard to beat. So ask Mom to get you plenty of that sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep, because that's how you get these new comic buttons. One in each box. You don't send in any money, not even a box top, and you can't buy them anywhere. But every time you open a package of Pep, there's your snappy prize. And there's some mighty snappy eating, too, because Pep is a whiz of a breakfast cereal. Tastes so crisp and sunny and golden toasted, you practically can't resist it. So ask Mom for P-E-P, the Sunshine Cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
It is noon in Metropolis. Dr. John Millison has just arrived at the Daily Planet. Ushered into Editor Perry White's office, the famous scientist hands White an envelope, heavily sealed with wax.
What's this, Dr. Millison? Before Superman left Earth the last time, he gave me this envelope. He asked me to guard it carefully, and in the event that something happened to him and he failed to return to Earth by the end of the week, he said I was to give the envelope to you.
Oh, he did, eh?
Yes. The week expired last night at midnight. I waited a few extra hours, hoping against hope that Superman would return. But, as you know, he didn't.
No, and neither did poor Clark Kent. Poor chaps. I wonder why Superman left this letter for me.
I don't know. It's probably very important. Why don't you open it?
I will. No, wait a minute. Lois Lane and Jim Olsen should be here when I open it. They were as close to Kent and Superman as I was. Oh, Miss Backrack, call Jim Olsen and Lois Lane. Tell them to come into my office at once. I can't imagine what could be in this letter, Dr. Millison.
Neither can I, but it should be very...
I'll find out right now.
Puzzled, Perry White rips open the heavily sealed envelope in which, as we know, is the letter from Superman, revealing his identity as the mild-mannered newspaper reporter Clark Kent. The secret Superman plans to reveal only after his death. Is Superman's most cherished secret, which he has protected so many times with all his great powers, to be revealed now, at the very moment when the Man of Steel is rocketing through space from the planet Apollo? We know that not even Superman can travel the many millions of miles through space in time to prevent Perry White, Jimmy Olsen, and Lois Lane from reading the confession White now holds in his hand. So what will happen? We'll find out in Monday's exciting episode, so don't miss it. Be sure to tune in Monday, same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at the same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. Say, on a chilly morning when your nose wakes up half frozen, gang, that's Crumbles weather. Just the time for a toasty kind of cereal with zip and go. Kellogg's Crumbles. Why, just the name to make you think of toasty words like crisp, crunchy, crinkly. Crumbles. You know, it's the only cereal in the whole wide world made in those little crinkly shreds of real whole wheat. Sort of sweet and mellow rich. This is Crumbles weather, gang. Just the time for crisp, crunchy, crinkly. Kellogg's Crumbles. And be sure to be with us on Monday for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.